So I'm back here in the garden today and I'm doing an update on these burlap bag planters. I think it's been about a month since I constructed these, and I want to show you what's going on with them. You can see that I cut some flaps from the outer burlap bag and kind of folded them over to act as a kind of mulch here. But that's not the main thing I want to talk to you about today. Maybe I'll get to that later. The main thing that I want to talk about is how the plants in these planters seem to be doing. So as you can see, they're not doing all too well. That's a little tomato plant that I planted about a month ago. And these are basil plants. And pretty consistently, like the tomato plants, for example, this one seem to be stunted and not very healthy. And just overall, most of the plants in here seem to be kind of yellow and like not really thriving. So you can kind of see another example here. This is a bag that I have not mulched yet with the burlap. Kind of same thing going on here. And if we walk over here, again, the basil plants have kind of grown okay. They're just a little pale for my liking. I'd really expect them to be kind of a deep green. Same thing, this tomato plant here is again pretty small. The leaves are not looking good. And maybe some mites or maybe a nutrient deficiency. I'm not really sure. Even this tomato plant, which is bigger than the rest of them, still is just kind of looking, it's not looking healthy. And that's pretty consistent throughout all of these. Here too. In contrast, here's a basil plant that I planted probably a week or two before the ones in the burlap planters, and it's looking a lot healthier. The leaves are darker green. So I'm not really sure what's going on with these. So one guess is that the soil just isn't deep enough. And the soil is maybe only that deep, and then if you remember, below it is a layer of wood chips. Maybe the soil just isn't nutritious enough. There is a fair amount of compost in here, so I'm not really sure. But there's something going on with these, so this has been an experiment for me. Kind of live and learn. Not sure exactly what's going on with these, but so far what I'm seeing from this experiment is that the plants aren't really thriving for some reason or another. So, in the course of science, like, there are failures. You kind of learn from them. So at this point, I'll still get some kind of harvest off of these. Like, this is a pepper plant. This is doing okay. The basil plants are doing okay, so I'll probably get something out of them. This experiment is showing me that there's something in this method that it doesn't work that well, and I'm not really sure what it is yet. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. So let's take a look at these two burlap bag planters here. As you can see, this one has the burlap used as a mulch, and this one does not. Now, I watered both of these a couple days ago, gave them about the same amount of water, and I'm curious to see how well this one has retained its moisture. So if we take a look at this one, the one that has not been covered, we can see that the soil at the top is just starting to dry out a little bit. It's not like the deep. The neighbor's dogs are howling. So if we take a look at this one, the soil at the top is just a little dried. So let's uncover this one, at least partially uncover it, and see how wet or dry the soil is. So I'm just going to uncover part of it here. What I'm seeing and feeling is that the soil here is moist, completely moist on top, whereas this one is starting to dry out. So it looks like at least the mulching is working, even though the overall planter design is not so far giving very healthy, vigorous plants. It is retaining moisture, so at least that part seems to be working.